This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
I never know what Steve has on here for sound effects, and that's under John Cena heel theme 2025, and it's like a mashup of The Rock and John Cena's theme.
See?
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan.
I can't say I'm a fan either. What's the other one? Oh, the other one we have on here.
It sounds weird.
Right, no, he needs this. This basic thugonomics has to come back.
Untouchable.
I agree.
Word life. This is basic thugonomics. This is basic thugonomics.
Oh,
Word life.
That would be great. Or Bad Man. I don't know if you guys. God. Yes, we listen. We all listen to the John Cena CD. I don't know if you. But Bad Man is another one that would be.
John Cena has a CD?
I never in my life listened to John Cena's CD.
John Cena legitimately had like the #1 selling album for like a week or something.
Mind you, Mitch, this is a rap album.
It's a rap album.
Oh, I'm gonna find it on Spotify, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, it's John Cena, the Trademark, and Bumpy Knuckles. Those are the guys.
Oh, I need that. I need that in my life. I need that
because it has My Time Is Now. It's got basic thugonomics. It's got all kinds of Bad Man. The music video for Bad Man is an A-Team parody, and they have all the rappers play a different member of the A-Team, and then they're like rescuing Gary Coleman, and he was still alive at the time, and they had a real ass Gary Coleman like in this A-Team thing. I'm a bad man. It was crazy. You got to look it up.
I was 8 years old when I found this out. I had no idea this is like something that was real.
I'm excited to listen. It's gonna be great.
Crazy. It's crazy to see, like, when I remember going to like Walmart or wherever and seeing amongst all the CDs, the album cover was the WWE Spinner Championship that John Cena always wore. And it just stuck out so amongst everything else. It just stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? But that's how popular this freaking guy was.
I mean,
whatever.
it is because like he for the first time in a long time, we heard the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." It's been a while. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. And it's different now because it used to be the kids were chanting "Let's go Cena" and the adults were saying Cena sucks.
Correct.
And now it's the other way around. It's beautiful.
Yes. Oh, how the tables turn.
Dude, it's so weird to think because like if you told me in like 2006 that I would want John Cena to win the world title at WrestleMania, I would have slapped you. I would have been like, there's no way.
You would have slapped yourself.
Right, exactly. If I went back in the time machine, I would have been like, you're dumb, dude. What are you talking about?
You're crazy. And then, like, old you be like, dude, no, you don't understand. You will be chanting.
Dude, it's crazy. And yeah, even David agrees. He likes it. He likes the Dr. Thugonomics. Yeah, it was 02 to 03. It was like a very short run for the Dr. Thugonomics. And then he became a main eventer very quickly.
What I think they're going to do with his music is they're probably gonna try to keep. They're kind of going to do what they did with The Rock with his music, right? They're gonna kind of turn it heelish in a way.
That's what I'm thinking. There was also a song he wrote for a heel turn like 2012 that they never used. So that's still
Well,
hanging out there too.
well, I'm gonna tell you what. I heard a rumor that his new song will be written by ASAP Rocky. I don't know how real that is. I don't know if ASAP Rocky's
Ooh,
going to be in it with him, but
that
it
would be
might
great.
make sense a collab between both of them in the new John Cena era.
As long as The Rock doesn't try and rap on it like he did on that one song.
No, no, absolutely not. Rock should stay away from this as far as possible.
Do you guys remember that stupid? It was that was during the pandemic. I feel like The Rock decided to record a rap song. The power. It was
That was
terrible.
horrible. I
The
remember.
Rock, The Rock is more of a country singer.
Yes. Oh, The
For
Rock.
sure.
The Rock should not rap. He should definitely stick to country. And Elvis. He's good at Elvis.
Yeah,
of
yeah, he
course-
does a very good Elvis impersonation.
Beautiful. And hi, Tara and Kat just joined the chat.
What's up,
And
Tara?
Autumn. I'm here, and the surprise we wanted to do is here too, Vince.
Oh
Wait,
my
Vic,
goodness.
Should, should we wish Steve a happy birthday from everybody?
Yes, I think we should definitely before what Alex is about to say, we should wish Steve a happy birthday. Steve's not here tonight, obviously, because he's out celebrating as he should. So, Chindan, happy birthday, salud, all good things to the captain of the ship, as we try and do our best without him here. It's not the same without you, Steve. Well wishes, happy 26th birthday.
Yeah, he's
Whatever.
26.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't know how old he is, but happy birthday. All right. Now Kat and I were talking earlier about work stuff, not about podcast stuff. And of course, all the wrestling stuff comes up anyway. Started talking about this heel turn of John Cena and with aligning with The Rock. And Alex had some words. First of all, he came up with a name in your group. And then he added a member to the group. So go ahead. The floor is
So
yours.
what is the name? John Cena, The Rock, and that you inducted Steve into it. What are they called?
John Cena, Rock, and Steve are the bad baldy people of anything in the world because one, John Cena's a heel. First of all, John Cena insults to The Rock. Third of all, Bone Man likes Zoe Stark.
Bald man loves Zoe Stark.
So the Bad Baldies instead of the Bad Bunny, I think, is the best faction name ever.
Bad Bunny?
No, Bad Baldies. It's The Rock and John Cena and Steve, apparently,
been-
according to your brother.
According to Alex. Good. You don't like Zoe Stark. I got a problem.
This better be on you for sure.
The kids. Okay, somehow Zoe Stark is for the children.
No, I'm just trolling. Her.
Tara,
Division. Oh Jesus.
Tara wishing Steve a happy birthday. Dave, Abby, if you go on Cameo, you know she's not doing anything. She's definitely not. She's not booked tonight. You could get a cameo for Zoe Stark, and she would answer you very quickly, and we will play it. I have the ability to play saved videos or shared screen. If you got Zoe Stark to wish Steve a happy birthday, I would shit in the hat.
God.
That would automatically have to be his favorite wrestler, right?
Right, I would love it.
By
care how
default.
it would cost, I would find a way to make sure we had that money.
I don't know how much she can't be that much on Cameo.
I don't care. I will dip into what account I'll
Right.
dip in. That
There you
happened.
go. And of course, we have not as early as he usually is. Sometimes he's an hour early. He was 5 minutes early today to say Trish Stratus and Lita should have started debut tonight. Well, a lot of things should have happened earlier. The women's wrestling thing should have happened earlier than 2015. So yeah, I know what you mean there, David. All right, Tara thinks it's funny. And guys, Dave A says it's only $75 to get a cameo from Zoe Stark. I'll take care of it. Holy
Oh,
shit. Oh. I don't know if Steve's listening right now, like punching the air in his car. Like I don't know what he's doing, but this is gonna be beautiful.
He's
Keep your
never
hands
letting
on
us
the
do this
wheel,
by
Steve.
ourselves again.
Keep your hands on the wheel, bud.
We're next week. It's gonna be Steve and 3 other guys that work at the Lexus dealership. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be some other fucking crew of people.
We're being
We're all done.
replaced.
This
Yeah, got
was,
you screwed.
for the record, this was not my idea, so I cannot be fired for this one.
I should be fired.
For the record, it was Dave's idea. None of us should get fired. We just encouraged it.
Exactly. Like I said, I am an innocent bystander on this one. I can't believe I'm saying that
I feel
because
like
that doesn't happen often.
We would be
but
bad friends if we didn't encourage it.
Yes, Mitch, you're right.
Wait, Kat, didn't you tell Vince to pay with your debit card for the thing? That's what I heard. I thought I heard you say
I said Bob's. No accountability for me.
that.
Yeah, she's using the operating account. Who cares?
I'm
Holy
The
Moses.
co-owner's account. I didn't use my account.
Yeah, you're gonna use the burner account. That way, Steve can't trace it back to you.
Well,
That's right.
Dave says we'll have it for next week, and that's amazing.
Oh, I want to see his reaction for sure. He has to
Yes,
be
I
honest.
can't wait to play it for him and show his reaction. So he's probably listening, so it's a little. The surprise might be spoiled, but the actual reaction of him watching the video. Oh my God!
Could she
Well, if
please call him Stevie?
Canceled. We know Steve's watching. He disappears
Yeah,
all
all of
of
a
it.
sudden the StreamYard just shuts down in the middle of the show. You
Yeah.
know Steve's listening, but I guess we should get
Future endeavors, you know.
right, exactly. And then we'll do one more. We have another birthday shout out. So Tara's nephew Brody is turning 7 on Friday. So happy birthday to Brody.
Happy birthday, Brody.
Your aunt talks about you a lot. You know, we know your aunt loves you, and do your thing, little man. 7 years old. You got you got a long life ahead of you, buddy. At 7, so
You
enjoy it. You know,
called him an aunt.
right? Yes, aunt. I don't know. He'll make sure. Dave says he's gonna make sure the video from Zoe Stark is special. All right.
Oh, this will be lovely.
Does she?
I'm
Does Zoe
excited.
Stark have an OnlyFans we don't know about? How is he getting?
Oh Lord.
What are we gonna play? No,
I think Steve was the first subscriber, actually, if I'm not mistaken. To her OnlyFans.
he's gonna be so heated if he listens to this show. He's gonna be so right about now. He's gonna be like, we are 12 minutes and 40 something seconds in, and they haven't talked about Raw yet. He's gonna be steamed. I guess we'll get into it. Let me put the bit.
I've only been here for 5 minutes, so I can't be held
Right.
accountable.
No,
First
we
time.
listen. Me and Mitch were riding solo for a minute, and then Al hopped on. So Al hopped on during the title song, so we were good.
Yeah,
you know,
by the way.
I played that thing that said John Cena heel theme, and it's like a mashup of John Cena's theme and The Rock's theme, and it kind of sounds like battling tubas farting at each other. And then I played basic Thugonomics because why not? Why wouldn't I play Thugonomics? Do we start with SmackDown? Do we start with AEW Revolution? Do we start with Raw at Madison Square Garden? What do we got?
I don't
Well,
know. But it'll be interesting to see what music he does come out in Belgium next weekend, though.
Well, that's kind of what a little bit about what we were talking about. And yes, Tara, happy birthday, Brody boy. On Tara loves you very much. Yes, indeed she does.
let's
So,
go
yeah,
AEW. Get it out the way.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, Kat and I watched AEW Revolution over the weekend. I don't know if you guys watched. I know you guys are mainly WWE watchers, but holy Moses!
I've seen some clips.
Aside from every show has its ups and its downs. Aside from a couple questionable decisions, that was a hell of a show, and there were legitimately 4 or 5-star matches on that show. Easy.
Tony Storm, best female wrestler in the game.
Tony Storm and Mariah May's no slouch either. Those two.
Tony Storm, I will love her forever. I'll miss her. Oh my God.
That was the Hollywood ending. Wasn't very long and drawn out, but
Right.
it was the most brutal for the amount of time that they did it. The most brutal women's match I've ever seen. They pulled out all the stops. I mean, they did. The Tony Mariah match of the year so far, 100%, men or women. They left it all out there. They completed an 18-month-long story. and it was great. It had callbacks to everything. The shoe, the pile driver on the stage, whipping with the belt, everything. Luther was out there, the Hollywood sign. They alluded to movies. They did the Bloodsport Taipei death match where they wrapped tape on their hands and then dipped them in broken glass and then did
Oh my God.
yeah. They
It was
were
wild. You need to see those recaps, Mitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it was
I have a day off tomorrow. That's what I'll
Tony
be doing.
Storm did look like old school Ric Flair with all the blood.
and it was immediate too, because the match started and Mariah ran up the ramp and jumped her, and then they did like a table, like Luther got sent into a table, and then they just started at the top of the ramp, and Tony gets busted open real early, and you can tell there's a point where she does like a move, she puts Mariah through a table, and the way she jumps off the stage and lands through a table and hits, and the way she lands, she goes like this to cover her mouth and starts talking to the referee. And I'm like, oh no, what is it? And it's either like her hip or when she bladed, she cut a gusher. Like she caught an artery or something. Cause it was the whole match. It was pouring. And then Mariah starts bleeding too from something. And then they're both just like covered. And Mariah's dressed like a bride. She's got the veil's covered in blood, and they're all wearing white, and the white's covered in blood. And and after the pinfall happens, 1, 2, 3, and up on the screens in old timey movie font, it says "The End."
Oh, that's wild.
Oh, it was just so. It was like, they ended the match with "The End." It was like,
I'm gonna tell you something. I dare to say that might be overall the second best story in the past 2 years, only behind the Bloodline.
Amen.
It's easy too, because it's one of the only ones that that story stayed together as long. The Bloodline longer, but almost as long as the Bloodline.
Yeah, but the Bloodline is a group, right? Like, how long could you have two people go at it? And they did great work with it because they kept us all interested and invested till the end. No pun intended. Well, no pun intended.
Right. Yeah, and even when they weren't facing each other, like Toni Storm, after she lost at All In London, like went away for a while and then came back as like rookie Toni Storm. They still had Mariah was able to do her own thing, and she had different challengers and whatever. But it always was the idea was people knew Toni was coming back. She came back as like regular old like punk rock Toni Storm, which surprised everybody, and then eventually the transition back to Timeless and like that whole reveal. Oh,
that was reveal. It's like literally one of like my top 5 favorite moments ever in wrestling. Like literally, I'm not even joking. And I'm women's. I'm talking overall. I've played that over. I probably watched that 50 times. No bullshit.
Do you think I have forgotten?
I got you from my womb, and now I'm gonna spit you out.
Yeah, that was literally a great fucking promo.
Mind blowing. Oh, so good. And yeah, Kenny Omega won, Rosie. Great match. Him and Takeshita for the International Championship. It looks like we were heading towards Kenny Omega versus the Rainmaker Okada at All In Texas for both the Continental Classic belt and the Intercontinental or the International belt, and that might mean a title unification. That's the rumor.
Yep.
Let's see here. Roman, I actually like this a lot. Your kids are smart. Rosie goes Roman versus Seth versus CM Punk. Loser changes brands at WrestleMania in the draft.
That's not Rosie typing that. That's Alex.
That's Alex. Is that a real stipulation? If not, it should be.
No, he just made that up.
All right, yeah. And so yeah, and Dave, this was the unfortunate thing is that all of the undercard matches were so good that
I didn't give a shit.
Pushing 50 Cope and then Moxley, I knew that match wasn't going to live up to everything else on the card. What I was hoping for was more of a faster paced match with a quicker finish that in my head Edge wins and then Christian cashes in and then Christian's the champ. But
Yep. Christian
you know,
got blown out in the match in like 2 minutes.
yeah, Christian comes in, cashes in, hits a spear on Edge. Edge kicks out. Moxley comes back in the ring and just puts the bulldog choke on Christian and chokes him out. And it's like, but Christian's fresh. He didn't wrestle. He shouldn't be choked out so quickly. And I don't know. But I also understand that the theme of this story is that one of the younger guys is going to have to step up and take the title from Moxley. So is it Swerve? Is it Darby when he gets back from Everest? Is it some third option that we don't even know yet? But that seems to be the plan. Now, Tony sticks to a plan whether he should or not. And I'm always one, if something's getting stale, freshen it up with a title change. You can always get the belt back to Moxley. Even if like the match ended with a screwy finish and Edge left with the briefcase and be like, we've seen this before. Edge takes stealing somebody's briefcase or whatever. Like, and then it's almost like Edge has the championship and Moxley's trying to get it back, even though there was never really a title change. It would just be the physical possession of the briefcase. Let's see. I'm never a fan of failed cash-ins. I agree. I think the you have to have them because otherwise it's a spoiler. Here we go. Otherwise it's a spoiler. Like if every single person that cashes in wins, you just know it's going to happen. So you have to throw in a couple Wade Barretts every now and again, which stinks. I understand it, but yeah, or the other thing that was floating around the internet was that because that contract has to be signed before they ring the bell, like AEW made that a very specific thing. That Jay White was going to steal the contract and sign it instead of Christian, and then Jay White would have cashed in, which
See, I would have loved that.
I would have been perfectly okay. Because I think Jay White should be a champion, a singles champion. He's fantastic. And I don't know if this is Alex or Rosie saying confused on why people don't like Jon Moxley.
That's Alex.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. He is a bad guy, so they're going to boo him. But also, like, they've gotten to the point where, like, we were with Roman Reigns in the middle of the Bloodline story. We're like, damn it. Every single match, there's interference. He always wins by some screwy whatever. And you're getting sick of it. And it's a real, you're getting sick of it. And but it's also a storyline. You're getting sick of it. So it's real life frustration that they're playing into to eventually make people anticipate whatever the title change is going to be, whether it's Swerve or Darby or whoever. But is it going on too long? Maybe.
I think part of the problem is the whole like Moxley, Cesaro, Wheeler when it started had such momentum. It's not as big as what it was originally supposed to be. So that has like at least when Roman was the full bloodline, they brought in Sammy. They did
right.
Well, that's where I believe where the lack of development, with storytelling, with the backstage guys, the writers. That's where they lack, the long part of the game. They can't really see the future.
Depends on the story, exactly. There's something missing from that story to give either Moxley that faction the full heat, or to give it another champion or something like that. It's not fizzing the way it should be because Moxley is a great performer, but
yeah, and I feel like he's had a hand. Dave just said the Death Riders are boring, and I get it because like here's Danielson being a part of that group, and even Regal being part of the group when it first started. It added something. There was something about having two big world champions like Moxley and Danielson in this group, and neither of them were really seen as the leader. It was just like these guys that wanted to, wrestle. And now, Moxley has this other mission statement about like toughening people up and this and that, and it's all very vague. When I can't remember, Claudio turned and elbowed Bryan Danielson, and then they put the plastic bag on him. That's
a huge pop. Like holy shit. It was the biggest holy shit moment of the time in wrestling. And then it just fizzed out. They had nothing to do to like increase. Right. It died.
So, and what I think happened was, so the Young Bucks, they did this angle when the Young Bucks went off TV a couple months ago, where they were shredding all these documents and they were like leaving and all this stuff. And what I believe was that Tony thought the deal with Shane McMahon was done.
Yeah.
And that Moxley was going to appear to be a bad guy, but he was really hinting, hey, everybody's got to step up because something is coming and it's bad, and you guys aren't ready for it. And then it was going to be eventually revealed Jon Moxley was right the whole time, because the Elite were going to come out with Shane McMahon and with backup and all this other stuff, and then Shane was going to be the big heel. But then Shane wanted stake in the company. You're an employee, bro. You don't need stake in the company. That's not how this shit works.
Right.
Wait, time out. I guess I missed this. Is Shane in AEW right now?
Shane was negotiated to be in AEW, and
that's where the whole thing originally started with Mox and where they were going with it. But then Shane got greedy.
Yeah, Shane, instead of just wanting a paycheck, wanted like a part of the company. And obviously with, Warner Brothers being involved and Tony Khan and his dad and all that, they're like, no, we're not giving you a piece of the action. So that was that.
So he never appeared on TV?
No, there was one backstage picture that Mercedes Moné took. And it was like Tony and Shane meeting in a conference room at an airport somewhere.
Yeah, and it got leaked.
Yeah, and it was like, teasing like something was going to happen. And it was like, they legitimately were having conversations. But yeah, as Kat said, Shane got a little greedy and wanted some sort of, some percentage of ownership in the company. And they backed off. And now I think the plan is just wait for Darby to get back from climbing Mount Everest and have him win. I think that might be just the plan that they're going with. I really don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but like I said, it just changed the dynamic.
Because they could really, if they were to pivot, the way they could pivot now is they've made Swerve the number one contender. By the way, Swerve Ricochet, if you watch Revolution or watch parts of it, every time you start a match, you're going, I don't think this match can top that last one. And just all night until the main event, all night toppers. The tag team match was all right. The Outrunners, they're more gimmick than work rate. They're fun though.
Right.
Hurt Syndicate's fantastic, but it was a good match. Every other one, like Ospreay Fletcher in a cage, was wild. That was an insane cage match. The women's match, the two women's matches, Momo and Mercedes did great. Yeah. The other singles matches, I mean, the Kenny match was great. And then what's the other one I'm missing? I know I'm missing something. MJF Hangman started the show. Holy shit! And Ricochet and Swerve. I mean, that was. There were about 4 or 5 legit 5-star matches in this pay-per-view. So,
what the hell was this Ricochet in WWE? I take back everything I ever said about Ricochet over the past couple of years with the work he's doing over there right now.
It's an amazing turnaround. He's really found himself. Like,
even on the mic, he is not as bad as he used. Like, wait a minute, did you just cut a promo?
I know, it's so weird. He's like doing this, like, I don't know, like, is it weird to say he's doing like an Andrew Tate impression? Okay.
You're not the only one that feels that way. It's okay.
And I'm not just saying because he's bald, which, oh my God, the whole crowd during the match chanting at Ricochet, bald. And he Swerve backs Ricochet into the corner and then starts smacking the back of his bald head. And as he's smacking him, the crowd's going, bald.
I felt like I was watching Balls Mahoney for a minute.
Oh, it was fantastic. Let's see here. There's a lot of comments of the night coming up, I think. David Roska shooting a shot. Hey, Trish Stratus, if you're listening, I want Trish Stratus to win the Women's United States Championship against Chelsea Green at WrestleMania 41. Put it into the universe, buddy. You never know. I don't know who's challenging for the U.S. Championship.
It's not in Canada. So.
Right. It's not the Canadian Championship, although it would be if Lance Storm won it. Who's going to win, John Cena or Cody Rhodes? You think the match is going to be bloodline rules? I don't know.
Interesting.
No, I don't think so. Not bloodline rules.
They might do so,
yeah.
But I know what you mean. Bloodline rules would almost be. It could be anything, like a street fight. It could be your falls count anywhere.
I do like that though, Alex.
Well, yeah, and it would be. This is the same thing we talked about when WCW was around. A WWF versus WCW Survivor Series, minus that Invasion one that they did that one year, would have been big business, because you could have had DX against the NWO. You could have had Team Goldberg against Team Stone Cold. Like it would have been insane if they were able to get that together. And if they were to do it nowadays, Cody leading a team against like Team Hangman, like or Team MJF versus Cody in a Survivor Series match.
That'd be awesome.
But if there's anyone that could probably make that happen, though, it is Paul Levesque, though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he's willing to work with freaking TNA, and they're fine, but they're not exactly like, you know, making millions of dollars or whatever. You know, they're doing all right.
Yeah, but like you said, but if it produces people like Joe Hendry showing up or whatever, that's you think.
Exactly.
So if they could pull something off to get like an AEW superstar, like, you know, to do something in WWE, that's huge. Like MJF did an interview like right after the Elimination Chamber, because they asked him what he thought about the heel thing. He goes, I know we're not supposed to talk about it. He goes, if any professional wrestler does not tells you they don't watch WWE or they watch vice versa project, because they're a fucking liar.
Right.
He's like, of course I saw it. I loved it. And he goes, and would I want to be a part of something like that? He's like, you're damn right I would. He's like, that would be amazing. He's like, and anybody that tells you otherwise is an idiot.
Yeah, you want to be involved with The Rock and John Cena, of course.
But we're talking, like, you know, this cross-brand stuff is, you know, you will hear people talking about each other from different companies now, which is something that never happened back in the day. So they should capitalize on that.
I just want John Cena versus Tanahashi.
Yeah.
They're both of them are going to retire this year. So this is the last shot. This is the last chance we have for John, and we should have had it 10 years ago. John Cena versus Tanahashi back in the day would have been great, but still would be fun now. Just clean up a couple of comments, and then we'll talk about some WWE stuff. What's that?
Who goes over in that match?
In the AEW, WWE?
John Cena, Tanahashi, yeah.
Oh, John Cena, Tanahashi? Oh, man. I feel like Tanahashi's such a nice guy. He'd let John Cena win, especially because John Cena's a heel now and he needs the heat leading up to, like, if for some reason John Cena flew to Japan, whooped Tanahashi's ass, and then flew to Germany and was like, Cody, did you see what I just did to that guy? I'm going to do it to you. Heat.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I know it's not going to happen before Germany next week, but, you know, just using it as an example.
It's still thinking, but I get it.
Cena. I think Cena wins, and Tanahashi would let him, you know, would make the call on that.
Remind me, Raw will be on at 3 p.m. this Monday.
Oh, it's live because it's on Netflix now. That's right.
Yeah. Netflix don't give a damn about us. They just care about being live.
Yeah, they just wanted to broadcast. All right, let me get back to this. So, Tara, did Samantha show up? No, Samantha did not show up. She's still not involved with AEW as far as I can tell. Suggestion to add TNA stars into the WWE AEW thing. I mean, of course, you know, that's to have other people involved would be such a good idea. The final boss being in control. I don't know about
Alex. By the way, 9:30. Get in bed.
Right, go to bed. Roxanne lost to Jordan Grace.
That was supposed to happen.
Jordan Grace. I think your kid doesn't want NXT spoilers. That's funny. Oh man, no spoilers. Yeah, I mean, that should happen. I understand Roxanne's she's the homegrown NXT whatever. You know, you'd think that they'd put her over, but you just signed Jordan Grace. She's got to come in and look strong, and she's got to beat somebody credible to look credible. So there we are. MSG or SmackDown? What should we talk about?
He was trying to
You sound a little bit like Cody there.
What's the order? What was first?
SmackDown.
Well, SmackDown happened on Friday, and then Monday was MSG.
Well, if we're going to talk about SmackDown, then we have to talk about the Bianca Naomi thing of all.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. So, we should back up to Friday because that did happen. Naomi channeling her father-in-law, Rikishi.
I did it for Naomi. I did it for the people.
She did it. She did it for Bianca, and now, oh boy, it's all the way a mess.
But I'm telling you what, I still think Bianca knew about it.
I think so.
I knew
think
it wasn't
gonna
Liv.
come up.
Well, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Foreshadow. So at the Elimination Chamber, Naomi and Bianca were both wearing white, and Jade Cargill came out in the black. This week, Naomi and Bianca were both wearing the black, and Jade came out in the white. The two heels are Bianca and Naomi.
And there's a video that's going around, I've seen it on Facebook a couple times, of when Jade gets into the chamber, how Bianca is the first one to react. Before Liv and anybody, Liv and Naomi are just staring at her, but Bianca's like screaming and already freaking out. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Why would she be freaking out already? And then she blasts Naomi, and then she really starts. She's like, oh my God, like a horror movie.
Go get Liv. What are you doing?
Dude, that was Bianca was going crazy in that pod. Yeah. What else would have happened on SmackDown?
LA Knight beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes, and now there's rumors, but I've heard they're not really rumors. It's somebody misinterpreted a podcast segment that Nakamura's on his way out, but I don't think he's on his way out.
That would be a huge mistake by WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't he just signed though? Didn't he just re-sign his contract?
That's why I feel like it's not true, because it was something that was just floating around as like a meme, like a caption with a picture of Nakamura, and there was nothing. You know what I mean? There was no news article attached to it. It was just like one of those things that people shared.
Yeah, I didn't see any real validity to that either, so I didn't even pay any attention to it.
Yeah,
I can't see Triple H making that big of a mistake.
And I can't see him not sticking around for, the money he's making and the so little work that he has to do. It's just disappointing that you want the guy to win, like just have a good solid run. And this was a pretty decent run, but man,
he never should have lost to AJ Styles at that WrestleMania.
No, that really killed him dead for a while.
Yep.
And he just never got back that same world championship momentum. Tara couldn't stop thinking about us when Naomi finally said the line. Let's see. Someone has to lose 45 more times to Cody. Now, funny you should say that, because I had a thought the other day about this, where Triple H lived through the John Cena thing, where John Cena tapped out Triple H, tapped out Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, beat Kurt Angle, beat all these name guys, and the crowd really soured on John Cena because he just was invincible, and the Super Cena, all that other stuff. Triple H knows, like, even regardless, Cody can get his win back down the line, but he knows, Triple H should know, Cena has to win this match. Otherwise, who cares about John Cena's heel turn is for nothing if he doesn't win the title. The first heel turn in 20 years is a waste of time, and it just goes. It's like John Cena passing the torch to the next Super Cena, like Cody is right now. And it would just be such one of those unbelievable, like, certain things in wrestling, you can stretch your imagination. Like, as soon as John Cena turns heel, in the mind of a true fan, he should win. And it should be the dirtiest possible heel John Cena win. And like Cody can get his win back at SummerSlam or whatever else. And sure, because he's the guy, he's the captain, he's the quarterback, all those lame terms None of them are pro wrestler, by the way. You notice Cody never says that. He's always something else that's like not a pro wrestler. Like he's the
He
fucking
just needs to
captain.
leave already. He sucks.
But he's, and it's so weird to think that he was adamant about not turning heel in AEW, which would have been big business for AEW. He's not turning heel here. Apparently, The Rock wanted this storyline to be Cody, and Cody turned it down or was advised to not turn heel at this time or whatever, or not align with The Rock, even if it was like temporary or whatever. And
who the hell ties into that, Brandy?
Yeah. But I guess it's a good idea for him. Not he still doesn't want to turn. I think that's his thing. I think Cody just doesn't want to be a bad guy.
Yo, Al, do you want to bring it up about his wounds?
What happened?
His what?
His wounds.
Who's
The makeup?
well, Cody's wound. We were talking about it, right? Like he has a big old black eye. I get it, but didn't he have a big old cut on top of his forehead? That's where the concentrated blood came from with the Rolex cut. And all of a sudden, I see a black and blue eye. So I don't know, like, who the hell is doing makeup, but they messed up.
Not Goldust.
Yeah.
Right. But didn't he get a black eye? Or didn't he get I thought he got a black eye from Travis Scott hitting him in the face.
He slapped him.
Yeah.
He didn't hit him.
He cuffed him. Yeah, but he rocked him. Like he didn't. He.
Okay, maybe it's that. But where's the scar? Where's the Band-Aid? Like,
yeah, no, I know. I know, but because AEW, Don Callis does it because he got that scar during the pandemic. He like got tackled by John Moxley and cut open on like a light stand. And now, even though it's several years later and the scar has faded, when he's on TV, they take a little bit of like pink or red makeup and just they fill in the scar to make it more visible. And he's just got this like big, nasty wound on his head, and he looks diabolical.
That sucks.
They could be hammering the title shot he took to the head. That could be the reason why he got the shiner, though, too.
Oh, Cody, right, because he did take who knows?
I mean, John Cena missed it by a mile. He made no in it, but...
Well, they say Travis Scott screwed up. Dave, we're all watching the same show, right? We saw Travis Scott screw up. Travis Scott, like, Cody was supposed to be on the mat so he could get whipped with the belt by The Rock and John Cena. And Travis Scott's picking him back up to talk to him. And John Cena's like pushing him back. He's like, no, we're going down here. And then he winds up and he hits him. And it was like a power slap. It wasn't a slap with the tips of the fingers or like, you kind of do a little, you make it like sound good. He caught him with like the heel and it's like when you slap somebody and miss and you catch him with like this part of your arm. And when he did it, I was like, ooh, like Friday. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, that was rough. But Cody comes out. He starts. He cuts his promo. Cena's not there. He's coming back next week. But basically, Cody's trying to assert himself as the guy. John Cena's no longer the guy. Like Cody said, he's the quarterback. He's the captain now. Whatever catchphrase he wants to put at him, and I guess that's what we're going with now because he's already finished the story. There's no more finish the story for this WrestleMania.
Thank God.
Right now, it's got to be who is the quarterback, or who is the captain, or who is the ace. Does John Cena still have it in him for one more run? What do we think?
Said then about bloodline rules, though, that's a possibility.
Well, because now John Cena's not in the bloodline, but he's aligned with The Rock, and The Rock as the final boss, which apparently the final boss is higher up in the food chain than the tribal chief. He can make the decision to make it a bloodline rules match, or really whatever kind of rules match he wants.
Right.
I mean, honorary Oos.
Honorary Oos John Cena sounds so good.
No, it doesn't.
So, what are we thinking for John Cena when he comes out on Monday? in terms of music, in terms of his hair. Does he have
Bald.
hair? You
Nope.
think he's bald? You think he's going bald?
I think he comes out with a baldy and definitely showing his arms. Or he comes out in a fucking suit, like real corporate.
Corporate.
Real men in blackish.
I could see like a James Bond suit, coming down with just like a all black tie. I think
unless we get the Fast and the Furious version of him, like in Commando and that kind of fucking guy, you know?
God. No, I know at one point he was talking about when he turned heel, he would have gone to traditional wrestling singlet and traditional wrestling boots, and he was going to change his wrestling style to be more amateur move based.
Oh God!
So if he wears a singlet, he's gonna be basically Chad Gable.
Right. Oh, we should talk about that too. But no music, and says nothing. What a bold prediction by Dave.
Oh,
because he could at that press conference, all he did was pick up the mic and drop it and leave. So maybe
there is no way he's walking into WrestleMania.
Could you imagine he flies to Germany just to say nothing? Fly all the way to fucking Germany, yeah. Let's see, and that's that one. Okay. Oh my God, yeah, the Chad Gable thing. So Chad Gable, there was the vignette last week where he went to deepest, darkest Mexico and found a mystic man who sold him a box of goods. So hear me out here. Oh, before we do, geez, comments just keep coming in about the Cena thing. Cena should do the interview via satellite like The Rock. Holy shit.
That would be wild.
Dude, The
and
Rock.
Disrespectful.
Mitch, there was an era in like 2012, 2013 where The Rock was involved in a WrestleMania with John Cena and only showed up via satellite to the point where they made with like The Rock's font, like logo font, via satellite T-shirts. It's crazy. Yep. So that would be heat. That would be absolute heat. But Chad Gable, fine. You know, long story short, there's a new mystery masked man. It's Chad Gable in a fucking mask. It's just Chad Gable. It's Mr. America. It's Hulk Hogan. It's Mr. America. It's just Chad Gable in a goddamn mask. But
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your statement. I'll ask after.
The only thing I want to point out is, and somebody put up screenshots to show, the mask is the same shape, not the same colors, obviously, but because it's American flag. It's the same shape as Rey Fenix's mask.
Yep.
So I think there's gonna be shenanigans because the guy, he was covered up to the point where, because Rey Fenix has a tattoo kind of like here on his chest. So if that shirt slipped off, you would have seen that, and that would have given it away. Although I guess his hands were uncovered, and he's got hand tattoos, and Chad Gable doesn't. So it could be that Chad Gable is playing this character, and then eventually they're going to be like, obviously it's Chad Gable. We know it's going to be Chad Gable. And then like when they go down and mask him, it's like, it's not Chad Gable.
Yeah. Because that's the same thing like when he was doing the interview last night, somebody else got arrested, not Chad Gable.
Right. It was obviously a double in the mask. Yeah.
Right. But the double, is that where we're going to end up that it was Rey Fenix? Yep. Because that's been the whole big internet thing since that happened too.
Yeah. So what do you think, Al?
I was gonna say the Rey Fenix thing because I saw the same thing.
Yeah, dude.
I guess we all follow the same sources.
You would, dude, because I was looking at it, I'm like, no, it's not. Because people post that shit all the time. I'm like, no, it's not. And then I started looking, and I'm like,
when you start assessing shit, and he had long sleeves, so you can't see his tattoos.
Right.
And they are kind of the same stature. Although I'll say the guy was a little bulkier. Look, it definitely was him with his thank you and all that shit. But it makes you think. But right. He did become my favorite luchador of all times, just with that little skit. So my favorite luchador is a white Anglo-Saxon. I'm sorry, I said it. But it was great because I kind of figured when they showed the gold box, I'm like, oh, this guy's about to get a luchador mask.
Yeah, I think you said that when we were talking about it last week, you're like, "There's gonna be a mask in this fucking box."
Oh yeah,
Here
yeah,
we go.
exactly. Yeah, I think I did say that actually. So yeah, and the fact that it said Alpha, didn't it say Alpha Academy on it or All American?
Yeah, it's like American made or All American or something on
American
it.
made or All American,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then
That was even better. Like,
oh
oh,
yeah,
that was
it's
great.
ridiculous. And then Tara says, "Yeah, I saw a meme that called him Mr. America Jr." Yep, that's
I would like this guy honestly to have in a way, but heel, not face wise.
yeah.
Right.
A Daniel Bryan version of Road to WrestleMania somewhere in the future, because I would really like to see him get a belt, because I truly think he's great. I'm not saying now there's too many dogs on the way, but you could create a story for him. I'm sure with they do have some great writers, and I think the fans will fall behind him even as a heel.
For Gable,
Yeah, Chad Gable. I think eventually, and mind you, like
I
I'm
like
talking
Gable.
about a few years down the line, I think you could fit a place for this guy, if not the WWE champion, at least the WWE heavyweight title. You
right?
know, because that's the one you could dabble with a little bit. But I definitely think you should put it on him, give him a little run. He deserves it. Guy's a workhorse. He's great, great on the mic. He has come such a long way. So I like him. I'm a I'm a Alpha Academy kind of guy. No, not Alpha Academy. What is it? The
American
All
made, babe.
Americans?
American
American
made.
made. I'm an American made. Well, I can't say that. I'm a Chad Gable fan.
Yeah, there you go. And he's another guy that while he was doing all right in NXT and all right when Vince was around, he's another one of those talents that it seems like Triple H likes and wants to involve in a lot of stuff. Like he was the first person attacked by the Wyatt Six when they came back. Like that was a kind of a big deal. And yeah, he's just been involved. And even the comedy stuff, there's a way that the character, like you said, with writers and figuring out the storyline, that they can evolve this character to be more serious and become a title and that could even be, they could even acknowledge it. So somebody like Gunther could be like, I can't take you seriously, you're a joke, and then he takes himself more seriously and wins the title.
Yeah,
Could happen. Hey, Thomas Roach, how's it going?
Oh, Thomas, what's up?
Okay, you guys know him?
Yeah, that's our guy right there. We used to work together. But that's family right there. He's one of our close friends.
Hell yeah, he's one of the guys that Steve is going to replace us with after he fires us next week.
Yo, you know what's funny? The funny shit about that is that I was gonna say his name, but none of y'all would have gotten it besides Mitch. I was gonna be like, you're gonna come in next week, and Thomas Rose gonna be in here bugging out because he's one of those, like he has a great, huge personality. So he's one of those people. He has a great laugh. We always fucking love his laugh. So
okay, but whatever you hear tonight, don't tell Steve.
Yeah,
no. He has no idea. He has no idea. All he can talk about wrestling is probably like from 1995 and under. So he's not going to help the show.
Okay, yeah. Well,
we'll come back on a show when Eric's around. Got it.
That's right. He can. Yeah. So if you guys tune in next week and Steve has fired all of us because we fucked up while he was on vacation, it's gonna be Steve and Tom.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a good run.
He just goes, "You're stupid." All right.
If I had my Mr. Perfect pencil, I'd be like, "Yeah, nice knowing you. Goodbye."
So this is not wrestling related at all, but because you guys are way more New York, New Jersey than I am, I had to Google what, like, I already knew what, like, who the guy Aki. The Aki Way guy, can't forget the Bev, never, the guy that makes the sandwiches in the bodega. I had to Google, the chopped cheese. I had to Google it because there's another guy doing the exact same thing who's also like a Middle Eastern guy that owns a bodega, and he's just doing the exact same videos. And they called him Ak. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I Googled it, and Ak is like the Americanized version of like a Muslim word, AHK, like and it means like brother. So we just took it and we changed it from like to like Ak, and now in New York is just Ak is what you call like the Middle Eastern guy behind the counter. You're just supposed to call. I didn't know you were just supposed to call him Ak. Like I didn't know that was a thing.
Yo, yeah, Aki. Aki is like you said, is a slang for like saying my brother.
See, Aki means I knew Thomas would know, and I had to be informed because I saw it and I was hearing it. Yo, Ak, hey, Ak, but I just thought like I don't know. I thought the guy was like Octavius or some shit. I don't know what his name was.
Have you always lived in Connecticut?
Always. Can you tell?
Vince, do you get like to the border of another state and just say, "Nah, I'm good," and turn back around into your state or something?
Here's what you have to realize: Connecticut is such a small state, but there's a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. I know one thing
beach.
about Connecticut. 2 things.
Yeah.
3 things. I don't think you got a professional team.
Not anymore.
There's hella people that make hella money and are very, very wealthy. I think it's the richest state per capita in the United States.
Makes sense.
And WWE headquarters is either there or was there.
Yep, and it's there, and it's in one of those. It's in Stamford. That's a very well-to-do area.
Yeah, Al, they don't have BECKSPs in Connecticut.
I mean, yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
They're not called that, but we have. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It depends on what it is. If it's on a well, it's a sub. A lot of people call them subs up here.
Yeah, I call it a sub down here, so that's normal for us.
All right, Thomas, have a nice night, man. We're gonna get this. He seems like a wild guy. We're gonna get him on the show. I don't give a shit what he knows about wrestling.
Yo, be easy, my boy. Yeah. Yo, Thomas, if you're still there, bro, we got to get you on one day, bro. For real.
Yeah. Way better pizza than New Jersey. Connecticut has good pizza. That is something we're starting to get known for.
That's a sacrilege.
The New Haven style pizza, Sally's, Pepe's, Bar, Colony, Modern.
Yo, Al, is that where they get the pizza for the Jets games from Connecticut?
I wouldn't think so. That's a far ride for the game. I'm sure.
But they have like I think Sally's and Pepe's both have locations in other states now, but they started out just in New Haven.
Are you talking about the one they make over there at the tailgate?
No, they bring pizza from somewhere that's far away. I could have sworn it was Connecticut.
I had it once. It was actually pretty good, but I don't know if it's Connecticut.
If it was like real thin and crispy to the point of almost being burnt, like it's charred, like usually they're very charred. That's what Connecticut pizza is. It's very thin and it's like char grilled in a coal oven.
Whoa!
I like that. I would love Connecticut pizza.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
You know, when I knew there was a lot of money in Connecticut,
I was like, oh, didn't see that coming.
You know, when I knew there was a lot of money in Connecticut, Vince?
What happened?
When I realized it was exits, and all you saw through the trees was still one mansion. It was like I was on a highway. I couldn't believe that. I've never seen some shit like that. I was driving down the highway, going up to play a softball game up north somewhere. I think it was New Hampshire. I don't know, or some shit. And all I know is I remember one exit, and then I see like, oh, look at that house, and oh, that's still that house. And then you keep going, and it's still that house. And there's like properties of the house, and it keeps going. And I was like, wow, how much money is up here?
Well,
and that's when I Googled it.
That's just a guest house.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's nuts.
Dude, the one up near me is the very notable property was used to be Mike Tyson's mansion, and then it was 50 Cent's mansion. And there was something like 35 bathrooms.
Yeah, wait, time out. Did you just say the one near you?
Yeah, Mike. Like I don't live. It's like a town. It's a town. I'm in West Hartford, and then Farmington is like 10, 15 minutes away. It's not. Yeah, and it's not. I don't live in a mansion. I'm saying that mansion shouldn't be in Farmington. For people who live in Connecticut, know Connecticut, Farmington has nice houses. It don't have mansions. This is like somebody who, like Mike Tyson, bought a lot in the middle of nowhere of Connecticut and constructed this gigantic. It almost looks like a hotel. And then when he went bankrupt, 50 Cent bought it, and 50 used it, and then he would go. There's a mall with an Apple store by that mansion, and he would buy all of his stuff at the Apple store there. Like him and the G, they used to say that the G unit would just roll through this mall and buy a bunch of stuff and leave. But he eventually sold it or got rid of it because, like you said, who needs that many bathrooms? There was like 27 bathrooms, 35 bathrooms, something like that. They said at one point, like 90% of the bathrooms were broken, and he just didn't fix them because why would you? If you have 30 bathrooms, if one of them breaks, fuck it. You don't even bother calling a plumber. So
I guess that's the reason for 30 bathrooms. You never have to fix them.
That's what Mike Tyson was thinking. He was thinking ahead when he had. It's the wildest thing.
Thinking ahead, literally. Really? Did you just say that?
How many bedrooms did that shit have? If it had 34 bathrooms,
dude, I gotta
4 bedrooms.
Right? Could you imagine?
I
4
think
bedrooms would kill me.
It had more bathrooms than bedrooms. I think it was 16 or 15 bedrooms.
Mitch, that might be the funniest shit I ever heard you say in my life.
Mitch, that was so good. Such good timing.
The timing was everything.
Sometimes I'm good like that. Sometimes.
That's just funny. 4 bedrooms.
So here we go. 50 Poplar Hill Drive boasts over 50,000 square feet of living space, 21 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms.
Wait, how many bedrooms?
21 bedrooms and 25 bathrooms.
What?
Yeah, so
I guess every room had a bathroom, and then there
all
was 2
masters,
other
baby.
bathrooms in the house.
Right, yeah, a bunch of masters, then a couple scattered around.
Right.
Of course, indoor pool and hot tub, a nightclub, indoor basketball court, game rooms, a green screen room, recording studio, gym, conference center, theater. 17 acres.
What the hell does Mike Tyson need a recording studio for?
Well, I think
For
this
his
was
tiger, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to record a roar. We're gonna be the new MGM logo. No, I'm kidding.
You know what?
A whole rap album, whatever, with that list. Gotta help me.
The house kind of makes sense for him because he was kind of like crazy and he was an introvert and he only liked himself and his pigeons. So if you make sense of it, he probably just put everything he likes to do outdoors and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna build a house with it. I like shitting a lot and I like a lot of other activities. I'm gonna just build a house that gives me those qualities."
Well, he liked Gibbons at one point too, but you know.
And this is crappy. 50 Cent purchased the mansion from Tyson in 2004 for $4.1 million, and then invested $6 to $10 million into renovations, and then listed the house for $18.5 million in 2007. It didn't sell for that price. It sold for $2.9 million. 50 Cent lost about $12 million on this house.
Did you say 2007?
Oh.
This was all in around 2007. Well, that's when he relisted it on the market. He bought it in 2004 and relisted it.
The mortgage industry tanked, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that was when the housing bubble burst. And he got real fucked. Apparently, it's a private residence. A Florida businessman owns it. It's not a celebrity anymore. But like, damn.
Ouch.
Vince, think about a house you go into
On that
with all them goddamn rooms and bathrooms. Like, what the hell? Was it a hotel or something? Like,
dude, if you go, all you got to do is type in Mike Tyson mansion, and it has there's an article from a radio station, I-95 Rock, which is down in Southern Connecticut. It's got pictures of this house, and it looks like if you pulled up to like a really nice country club or like a ski resort or something. It's this big multiple floors, but then like turrets and shit. Like, oh god, it's crazy. I had to.
I don't mean to do nothing, but I actually got to head out because I got to get some more work done and everything for
well,
tonight.
we should. We'll close out. We've done an hour here and talked about maybe 5 minutes worth of wrestling.
We
covered.
What are you talking about?
That's true. We covered a pay-per-view. We talked about SmackDown. We talked about Raw. We hit all the bullet points. We talked about Rock and John Cena and Cody Rhodes. We hit all the bullet points. and the Lucha Brothers. Yeah, all right. So we'll pack up for here, unless nobody else. Mitch, Al, anybody got any final thoughts before we go?
No.
Talk about the
Everything's good
steel
on this
cage
one.
match.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yes, I forgot about. I don't know how Dave and Mitch were on the same wavelength here. So yes, we had the cage match, the finish of the match. There was some interference, for lack of a better term, just a little interference,
just a tad bit.
But it's funny because AEW's cage match over the weekend had interference, but there's no rule about escaping the cage in AEW matches, so it doesn't matter if you leave the cage or not. There's no it's not like an automatic win. But when Reigns grabs Rollins and drags him out, I love when they put in a stupid rule like escaping the cage means you win. That means you can do goofy shit like this, like Stone Cold getting choke slammed through the ring, and technically he touched the floor, so he won. And this is like Rollins got his ass whooped. He's not a winner. He won, but he's not a winner. He lost. He lost that situation by every stretch of the imagination. And now we head to a triple threat at WrestleMania.
We have to after Paul Heyman was in the ring with CM Punk.
Does this main event over one of the men's or women's world titles on night one?
No,
I hope not.
They can't.
They got to open with one of these.
You open with one of those.
Probably open day 2.
Open day 2. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out the placement because everybody talks about, this could be CM Punk's chance to finally main event a WrestleMania. I have my main complaint about that is now that WrestleMania is 2 nights, there are 2 main events, and honestly, the night 1 main event kind of doesn't count. Like, you can say you main evented night 1 of WrestleMania, but we all know that whoever main events night 2 is the biggest deal on the show.
Like halftime.
Right, exactly. Yes, it's an important spot. I'm not saying it's not an important spot, but on a 2-night show, the person who headlines night 2 is the big
kahuna.
Right, exactly. Dave, the only thing I hate about the match was the no selling they did for each other's finishers. Yeah, and that's everything now though with wrestling. There's a lot like there was a pile driver onto the seat of a steel chair from MJF to Hangman, and Hangman like beat a 10 count to get back in the ring, and people were complaining about that because it's like, well, he took a pile driver onto a chair. And I was like, I get it, but also like, what are we gonna do?
I mean, he did take one,
right? And yes, but no selling finishers, especially finishers. Like I understand if you steal some. I always thought it was this way. The reason the finishers work in like kid logic on the playground is that, well, the Big Show practiced. They realized the Big Show was so strong, his grip was so strong that he practiced this motion so much, slamming medicine balls or whatever else he was doing, that the choke slam was his finishing move. And like Shawn Michaels was in the gym super kicking, like getting his leg, like he had such powerful legs because he was in kicking that heavy bag every day. Like that's what I thought. And so by the inverse of that, when somebody tries to imitate, like if Triple H tries to do the sweet chin music, it's not going to be as good because he's not Shawn Michaels. And I like the idea of when you steal a finisher, it's not as powerful, and you can no-sell that because it's somebody doing a move they're not familiar with doing. But I don't like it when it's just like Stone Cold hits you with a stunner and you kick out at 1, and then Stone Cold hits you with a stunner and you kick out. No. We got to limit the number of finisher kickouts. And
finishers are not what they used to be.
No, and I agree because it's the same thing with people complain about AEW. It all really stems from Japan. And I hate to put the blame on Japan, but the Japanese wrestling of the late 80s through the early 2000s, from tape trading and watching online and all that stuff, That's what a lot of the American indie wrestlers watched. And then a lot of them go over to Japan. They train at the dojos, they work New Japan or All Japan, and they learn this style. And it's a lot of kickouts and all this stuff, and like the fighting spirit of like you get the shit beat out of you, and then 20 minutes into the match, you kick out at one, and suddenly you're all charged up and you got fighting spirit and you can fight back. Like it's a very Japanese thing. And that got brought over to American indies. When the American indies got so popular, that's when the mainstream wrestling, like Triple H picked up all the NXT, the early NXT guys like Finn Balor and all that, and they brought that to NXT, and then it crept up into the main roster. The more those guys got integrated into the main roster. So now it's like it all stemmed from like, 2001 Inokiism Japanese wrestling, but now it's everywhere. And now Kat has gone. But not that we're going to set anything in stone, but before we head out, the triple threat match that we're talking about, Reigns, Rollins, Punk. Who comes out on top and who gets pinned?
Ooh. I think Rollins gets pinned.
Shit. Rollins gets pinned.
It's got to be the OTC because it's fucking Roman. It's fucking Roman.
I think Roman loses and CM Punk gets his victory at WrestleMania that he's been desperately looking for. And the way he wins is by Paul Heyman betraying the tribal chief.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Damn.
You just made me choke.
I'm calling it right now.
Damn. That's such a bold prediction.
That is a wild prediction, but I love it.
I could see it. Roman Reigns in the corner, ready to hit. Rollins is out the fucking ring. He's knocked the fuck out somewhere.
Of course.
Rollins and CM Punk are going at it. Roman gets the best of him, spears him, goes to the corner, gets ready for the Superman punch. When he does his Paul Heyman comes up and starts begging him, please know my tribal chief. Please know my tribal chief.
Oh.
Give CM Punk enough time to set up the famous knee kick on the side.
Uh-huh.
Hit him with a bulldog. Does the go to sleep. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk wins. Paul Heyman on the side, shocked. And I don't know what you do after that. You could keep it that he's shocked and he was just trying to beg him not to do that to him, but I don't know how he stays with him after. But the point is, Paul Heyman causes him the match. And CM Punk wins. And you know what? I'm changing my mind. Roman Reigns gets pinned.
Damn.
He's the one that's going to get betrayed. At WrestleMania.
Wow. All right, Mitch, what do you think?
I think Roman wins. I love Alice Theory though, but I think Roman wins and Seth gets pinned. And just because, again, he's the OTC. To WrestleMania, he lost the last one. He can't lose again. Can he?
Well, and that's the thing. And that's what is intriguing about it. In theory, he can't lose again. But if he did, that's 2 WrestleManias in a row he loses. Where does the tribal chief go from here?
But the way he loses has a lot to do with how the way he loses, right? Because he lost in a no disqualification at WrestleMania. I don't think that hurt him. And it was about time. He held the title for years. Literally. And now, if somebody causes him the match, right? If you do my theory or you could do another theory, whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to lose clean. And even like we said, right? He doesn't have to get pinned. It could be Rollins taking the pin. And like we've always said, that's always a way to keep a wrestler safe from taking a pin in a grand stage, if that's the route we want to go. But I think it doesn't hurt him whatsoever. It just opens an avenue to another storyline down the line where he could defeat CM Punk. And it doesn't have to be WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And I also think it's an opportunity where, not that Roman hasn't already turned babyface, but like being betrayed by Paul Heyman would kind of be the final thing to like cement. All right, he's He's not relying on the bloodline. He's not relying on his wise man. He's not relying on anybody but himself now. And this is like Roman Reigns, babyface with a vengeance, looking for revenge on everybody that's wronged him. And then like, runs through. Yeah, we go, you do Punk and Reigns right away. Because, that would be the next logical step to me, is that you have to do if all of that happens and Heyman turns on Reigns, then you have to build toward Punk Reigns for either the next pay-per-view or whatever the next big pay-per-view is. Maybe it's a SummerSlam.
Definitely a SummerSlam is what I picture. That's a SummerSlam kind of match, and the great thing about it is you don't need a belt on the line to make it any more legit than what would it be already.
Right. And I think in my head, what I think is going to happen is if it goes the way you're thinking, where Reigns gets turned on, Punk wins the match, Reigns is going to want to get revenge on Punk immediately. And the first roadblock is going to be Rollins, because Rollins is always the thorn in the side of Roman Reigns. And Roman basically needs to do what Tony Storm, Mariah May. They need to have a Hollywood ending. This rivalry of Reigns and Rollins that has gone back a decade now. He needs to settle that so he can get to Punk. And so you've got your pay-per-view cycle set up where Reigns can go after Rollins for a little bit, put him away, and then go, all right, there's nothing else blocking my path. It's you and me. It's Reigns and Punk.
I mean, you're right. They definitely need something. But I just feel at the end of the day, especially now, I mean, unless Rollins turns to heel,
right.
I feel like a reunion could come in the near future. I feel their ending will be not a reunion right away per se, but you know what? They're gonna piece it up in the middle of the ring. They're gonna call it a spade a spade. It is what it is, and they're gonna go their separate ways. And then I see them coming back together and form a version of a Shield.
Oh wow!
And who knows? Moxley could be a free agent by the time they're done speaking. So you can never. You can,
right.
You can never say never in wrestling, right? So, Moxley coming back in the future and forming back the Shield.
And Punk already has the history. Punk in storyline, I guess behind the scenes kind of too. Punk was the guy that brought the Shield to the main roster. They attacked to attack The Rock to help CM Punk win the championship or retain the championship. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Right.
So there's all of that. And then that stuff can tie into the because Rock and Punk had that all, that feud literally 13 years ago or whatever it was. So they have that to tie into, and Reigns is involved, and he's obviously involved with The Rock. So it all can trickle up to the final boss. It can trickle up to the Cena thing now. Who knows? Because they all have history with each other. Now, could you imagine if CM Punk wasn't such an asshole in real life and he wrestled for the last 10 years? Like, imagine how much better all of this stuff would have been.
Oh, it would be endless. It would be endless, the amount of things you could have right now.
Yeah, and there would have been more. Like, there's a lot of history, but the history they're drawing from for Punk is from 2013 and prior to that. So there is an awful lot of there's a ton of history between him and Reigns and him and Rollins. There's no doubt in that there's a lot of crossover. But man, it's just like he's been missing for so long that like how far back can you go? Will they go so far back as to show footage from that pay-per-view where the Shield debuted and helped him? Like, I don't know how far back they're going to acknowledge, the history of this whole thing. Like, because a lot of most of the Shield footage is going to have Moxley in it, so they got to just if they did show old Shield footage, they'd really have to cut around him, unless they just showed him and they didn't care.
I think they would just show him. I mean, at this point.
Oh, I know. And then what's funny is that, like, for the AEW, both Elimination Chamber and AEW Revolution had one of the announcers mention Sami Zayn's old gimmick, El Generico, because somebody in the ring did a move that was El Generico's. And it's like, nobody gives a fuck anymore. We're just going to talk about shit that happened, in Reseda, California in 2006. And people are going to understand it. The funny thing is, when you say El Generico and you see somebody do a move, you kind of, if you know it's Sammy, and you know the history behind it when they mention El Generico during a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match, because they won't acknowledge, they don't acknowledge that El Generico and Sami Zayn are technically the same person. All right, I guess we should pack up here. I have to go on a morning show. I have to wait. I have to drive to the morning show and be there for 5:45 in the morning.
Oh damn!
Yeah, it's only 2 days a week. The weird thing about it is, if it was 5 days a week and that was just my regular schedule, I wouldn't I wouldn't care, because then it's your regular schedule 5 days a week. But like when it's 2 days a week, then it's like, oh, you got to go to bed super early these 2 days, or like, you get some sleep and then you do your morning show and go back home and like rest, but that like fucks up what time you go to bed the next day. It's like that's the only thing that's a little bit of a problem.
Yes, like you said, though, it's only 2 days, so that's not bad.
Yeah, but anyway, I would do it 5. If they made me full time, then I just know, okay, I know what time I would need to go to bed every single day. And I wouldn't mess up my sleep schedule as much. I'm not an early bird unless I'm forced to be an early bird. So, but I can do it. I just don't like to. But damn, that's it. We had a pretty good show here, guys. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Thanks to Dave, Abby, especially because of that freaking thing that he's getting Steve. Thanks, Thomas.
Best birthday present ever.
Seriously, Thomas Roach came in with the comments. We're gonna talk to him too. Thank you, Tara, and happy birthday again to your nephew. Ryan was in the comments tonight. Rosie and Alex were in the comments tonight. Dave Roscoe, of course, was in the comments tonight. I think that was a lot of people in the comments, but that's it for now. Thank you guys for commenting. We'll be back next week, 9 p.m. on Eastern time. It is daylight savings now. I mean, you should have figured that out by now. So if you're listening and you're tuning live, congrats, you figured it out. Otherwise, get your shit together for next week. But we broadcast on Steve's Facebook, the Tag Me a Date Facebook, and the Tag Me a Date YouTube. So the best way to find either of those, if you go to Facebook and type in Tag Me a Date, and you can also do the same thing on YouTube. Tag Me a Date is the name of the page. You type in the search bar, you hit search. On Facebook, you hit just the thumbs up, you hit the like or whatever, and then you start following the page. On YouTube, you have to hit subscribe, but then you also have to hit the notification bell, and then it will notify you when we go live. And again, that's Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you prefer the audio version instead of this video version, have a nice night, Tara. Thank you so much. If you prefer the audio version instead of the video version, you can go to your favorite podcast apps such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. And you can type in Tag Me a Date and the War Report and hit your search button. It'll pop up. The graphic, this little icon, our War Report logo will be on there. And you can hit subscribe. In the description, it'll say Steve and Vince and Tag Me a Date and all that stuff, so you know it's us. Ryan grabs the audio from this episode and puts it up within the hour of us going off the air. He's very efficient about it. And then it gets uploaded to the podcast apps, which means it goes right to your phone or your tablet, and then you can just listen to it in the car or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and wherever you take them with you. You can have us in your pocket. And listen to this episode and past episodes as well. And you can listen to past episodes on the Facebook and the YouTube, also just by scrolling back further. So that'll do it for this evening. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, And have a nice week, everybody. We'll be back Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report After Dark. See you.